Okay, this is called Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. Mary McLeod Boulevard. Now this is the old AT&T building. Your telephone company stuff, there's the old logo. Telephone company billing or what have you was done. It was always closed up the windows like that. I'm not sure what they do inside there. For whatever reason, the windows always had to be closed up. And this goes down into a black part of town. Bethune-Cookman's down there. Somewhere back, I don't know exactly the street. This is St. Paul's. This is where Mommy and Daddy got married. And this is where I had my first communion, where the nuns used to be, which I had to wear my nuns. I don't remember their names, but they were never mean to me. And where my son had his baptism, and my mother was baptized there, and Mommy and Daddy were married there. She became Catholic there to marry Daddy because he was Catholic, and of course you have to have a Catholic bride. But of course, if you love each other, that's no big deal. You want to do what your husband's doing. I'm taking a detour. I meant to take that other street over there, but I was talking. Now, a lot of people do this. So now this is called a bungalow. That's the shape of these houses are called bungalows. I don't recall really going down this street ever much, but I just took a wrong turn, so here I am. These houses have been here for quite some time. I mean, these were some of the first houses in Daytona. Our house that we lived in was built similar to that. You see the bricks on the white bricks there with the little X's in it? Those were very popular. So these houses were made in the 40s. There's coquina on these. So these houses were the style of the 40s. When my mother first moved here, all these are little... I tried to get apartments in these a long time ago. Everything looks different now. At that church back there, I also had my confirmation the same time that my son, after his communion, a few years later, he had his confirmation, and I had mine the same time, because I never got my confirmation. Daddy stopped us going there, apparently because it was something with money, or they asked for money, or some issue with there's too many of us kids, 4 of us kids, and they couldn't accommodate. I meant to do something that I'm not doing right. I meant to take you. You know what? This doesn't even make any sense. Now we're not on the street any longer. None of this was like this before. In the last 20 years, all of this, I don't even know what this is. I haven't been over to Daytona down in this parts in a long, long time. How long? I would say maybe 30 years, because I just stopped going over here. It was so many bad memories in the 80s. After my son's father, Tim, was involved in all the alcohol and all the stuff. There was so much drug use down on the boardwalk. I don't even know all the names of the drugs that were down there. And I just plain stopped having anything to do with this part of town. And of course, they took anything that we used to know. It was a beautiful little park here. That out there was called Manatee Park, and the homeless people used to be out there, but now apparently they built all these fences. None of this was fenced or walled before. This thing was never here before, and nobody knows what the hell that is. It says Brown & Brown Insurance, but that cougar, where'd he come from? It's got to be a Paul Balaker, because he's the only dude that does bronze statues. This was the tallest thing down here before. The good old Harley Davidson. They built that probably in 85, I guess, because they were going to anticipate great big. They built this probably in 85 or so, maybe a little bit later. That was not there. Oh, this was a beautiful little park. This is where I'm headed. Get over here to parking meters. Parking meters. I don't think we ever had parking meters. I don't know what I'm doing. Tia's Tacos. All this stuff was where we didn't have a mall when I first moved here when I was 5, which was 1968. And so we bought our shoes, and I'm trying to think what might have been in these 2 buildings. I don't remember, but this was here's my house that I'm living in. I got all kinds of stuff piled up in here. This is me, and this is my breakfast. Gonna be as soon as I'm done with this errand. And I'm just gonna show you what it's like in Daytona Beach, Florida, because none of us know. Anything that used to be here is all wacky. This was our old post office. So we used to come here with Granddaddy in our little patent leather shoes. And Granddaddy or Grandmother, but usually Granddaddy because he had the car. Grandmother didn't drive. And we would not have had anything down here Mexican. Look how beautiful this building is. Now inside of here, I've got a broken window right here. Right there. Inside is marble. And we used to try to, while they were, like Mommy or somebody was at the counter, us kids tried to run up the stairs and go as far up as we could because the marble's so pretty in here. I want you to see. Whee! Going up with no help on the railings. Woo! Because those are nice. But look at this marble. I think this might be, it's not quite Rosa Lawanda, but look at, oh dear. They need a little bit of help up there. But there's no reason to tear this. There's no reason to tear this building. I wonder what kind of is this marble this is. Rosa Lawanda?
I watch those guys doing woodwork, but
it's so beautiful.
I think it looks like soapstone to me.
Soapstone, probably. Yeah, and he ought to know something.
I used to.
Look how pretty. You know? Now look at this marble. When I was a young, 4 and 5 years old, this is the kind of stuff that would turn me on. And I would just stare at this stuff and imagine, that in my older life, I was a grown woman already. These are the stairs that I used to climb up as far as we could, just to go up those marble stairs. Look how beautiful. Look at the bull work. It's called bull nose here. And this is like probably terrazzo, I guess it's called. Look at these doors. And this place, I could have lived in here. Look at this. United States Civil Service Commission. Isn't that something? Well, this is exactly how I remember it. All these little door things. Look how old. When you touch it, you feel like you can touch the fingers of 1,000 people that touch this. Anyway, we've got Mary McLeod Bethune stamps up there. I don't know, it's just absolutely mail deposit. I like that word, deposit. You got her. And this side, I think, is the same. I can't remember what was upstairs, though. What was different? Like what was up there? Authorized personnel. I don't know.